What if there exists a land where the horizon never truly settles? Where mountains rise straight out of the ocean and glaciers move silently like frozen rivers through valleys. What if there are places where silence isn't empty, but filled with wind, ice, and the distant cracking of ancient ice fields? Far beyond the usual edges of travel, there are landscapes where scale becomes difficult to comprehend. Peaks don't just stand, they dominate. Valleys don't just stretch, they disappear into mist and distance. In these places, clouds drift low enough to touch the earth, and light changes so slowly that time itself feels stretched. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast wilderness, where the land feels unfinished, raw, and constantly shifting. Ice collapses into dark water with a thunder that echoes across fjords. Rivers cut through endless forests, reflecting a sky that seems too wide to belong to the same world. Snowfields extend beyond sight, blending into distant ridgelines where nothing interrupts the view. Now imagine nights that don't fully arrive, where the sky holds on to a dim, endless glow, and the boundary between day and darkness fades into something unfamiliar. And in contrast, winters where light barely returns, leaving behind long shadows, frozen stillness, and landscapes shaped entirely by cold. This is Alaska. A region where nature defines everything. Here, the land is not shaped for comfort or ease. It is shaped by ice, by movement, by time itself. Glaciers carve valleys, mountains hold back weather, and the ocean presses deep into the land through narrow fjords. Every scene feels vast. Every moment feels distant from the rest of the world. This is not a place that reveals itself quickly. It unfolds slowly, through silence, scale, and the quiet force of nature. Glaciers spread across valleys and slopes, slowly moving over centuries, carving deep channels and leaving behind rugged terrain. Along the southern coast, fjords cut into the land, where steep cliffs meet cold, dark waters. The environment changes rapidly across regions. Coastal areas are marked by dense forests and frequent mist, where moisture from the ocean creates a softer, layered atmosphere. Inland, the terrain becomes more open and rugged, with vast stretches of tundra and distant mountain chains dominating the horizon. Further north, the landscape transitions into Arctic plains, where the ground remains frozen for most of the year. Light plays a defining role in shaping the visual character of Alaska. During summer, extended daylight stretches across the land, illuminating mountains, rivers, and glaciers for long hours. In winter, limited sunlight creates a more subdued, shadowed environment where snow and ice reflect what little light remains. Alaska is not defined by a single landscape, but by a continuous sequence of environments, each shaped by isolation, scale, and natural forces. It is a place where geography is not just a backdrop, but the dominant presence that defines every scene. Stretching across the southeastern edge of Alaska, Tongass National Forest unfolds as a vast coastal wilderness where land and ocean exist in constant interaction. This is not a forest defined by clear boundaries, but a continuous expanse of islands, inlets, and dense woodland shaped by moisture and time. The landscape is dominated by towering coniferous trees, rising straight and dense, their canopies forming a near unbroken layer of green. The atmosphere is defined by stillness and depth. Sounds are muted by the dense vegetation, creating a sense of isolation even within a living ecosystem. Occasional openings in the forest reveal distant mountains, their outlines softened by clouds and shifting weather. Tongass National Forest is not a place of wide, open views. It is immersive and enclosed, where scale is felt through density rather than distance, and where every element, tree, water, and mist, contributes to a landscape shaped by quiet persistence. Located off the southern coast of Alaska, Kodiak Island emerges as a landscape where ocean and land meet in a raw, uninterrupted form. Surrounded by cold, open waters, the island feels separate from the mainland, defined by its isolation and the constant presence of the sea. The terrain is varied and expansive. Rolling hills rise from the coastline, transitioning into rugged mountains further inland. The slopes are covered in thick grass and low vegetation, creating a softer appearance compared to the dense forests of the mainland. Kodiak Island is defined by openness and exposure, a place where wind, water and land remain in constant balance, shaping a landscape that feels both vast and quietly isolated. High within the Talkeetna Mountains of Alaska, Hatcher Pass reveals a landscape shaped by elevation, weather and seasonal change. The ascent toward the pass gradually leaves behind lower terrain, opening into a high alpine environment where the scale of the surroundings becomes more apparent. Clouds often gather around the peaks, moving across the pass and altering visibility. At times, they open to reveal distant mountain ranges, while at other moments, they settle low enough to reduce the landscape to only its immediate surroundings. This constant shift adds a dynamic quality to the scene. Light changes quickly in this environment. Sunlight can illuminate the slopes clearly, revealing every detail of rock and ridge, before being replaced by shadow as clouds move in. During early morning and late evening, the terrain softens into muted tones, emphasizing the shapes rather than the details. Hatcher Pass is defined by openness and elevation, a place where the land is exposed, the sky feels closer, and the surrounding mountains create a continuous and expansive alpine landscape.
Along the southern coast of Alaska, Katmai National Park and Preserve stretches across a remote and rugged landscape shaped by volcanic forces and glacial movement. This is a place where the land feels raw and unfinished, defined by vast open spaces and dramatic geological contrasts. The terrain is marked by wide valleys, ash-covered plains, and distant mountain ranges that rise unevenly across the horizon. The rivers form the central structure of the landscape. Wide and slow-moving, they carry glacial silt that gives the water a muted, opaque appearance. Their channels shift subtly across the land, creating patterns that change over time. Along their edges, flat stretches of land extend outward, gradually transitioning into forested areas. In the distance, the horizon is defined by mountain ranges, including the towering presence of Denali. On clear days, its peak rises sharply above the surrounding terrain, appearing almost separate from the rest of the landscape due to its scale and height. Talkeetna is defined by its balance between land and water, openness and distance, creating a landscape where scale is measured not by height alone, but by the vastness of everything in between. Nestled at the head of a deep fjord in Alaska, Valdez exists within a landscape where mountains and ocean converge in a dramatic and enclosed setting. Surrounded by steep, towering peaks, the area feels both protected and isolated, shaped by the natural barriers that rise on all sides. The fjord extends inward from the open sea, its calm waters reflecting the surrounding mountains. These slopes rise sharply from the shoreline, covered in a mix of vegetation and exposed rock. In higher elevations, snow remains visible even during warmer months, adding contrast to the darker tones below. Water is a constant presence. Numerous waterfalls descend from the mountainsides, cutting thin vertical lines through the terrain before reaching the fjord. These cascades vary in size and intensity, depending on seasonal melt and rainfall, but together they add motion and sound to the otherwise still environment. Glaciers lie within reach of the fjord, slowly advancing and retreating over time. Their surfaces reflect light in a pale, almost luminous tone, standing out against the darker surroundings. Ice fragments occasionally break away, drifting into the water and adding another layer of movement.
A place where steep mountains, moving water, and shifting weather combine to form a landscape that feels both powerful and contained within its natural boundaries. Positioned along the southeastern coast of Alaska, Juneau is surrounded by a landscape where mountains, glaciers, and ocean exist in close proximity. The terrain rises sharply from the coastline, forming a dramatic boundary between land and water. Towering peaks define the horizon, often partially covered in snow and frequently wrapped in clouds. Juneau is defined by proximity between ice, mountain, and sea, forming a landscape where multiple natural elements exist within a single, tightly connected environment. Located along the outer coast of Alaska, Sitka is shaped by the meeting of ocean, forest, and mountainous terrain. The landscape here feels both open and enclosed, with wide coastal views balanced by dense inland features. The coastline is irregular and expansive, marked by rocky edges and small inlets that extend into the land. The ocean stretches outward, often appearing calm, but carrying an underlying sense of movement shaped by tides and distant weather systems. Inland, the terrain rises into forested slopes. Tall coniferous trees cover much of the landscape, forming a dense canopy that adds depth and texture. The forest appears continuous, broken only by streams and small clearings where light reaches the ground more directly. Light in Sitka is influenced by frequent cloud cover. It rarely appears harsh or direct, instead spreading evenly across the land and water. This creates a subdued visual tone, where colors remain muted and transitions between elements feel smooth. Mist frequently moves across the coastline, blending ocean and land into a single layered scene. At times, visibility reduces significantly,
leaving only nearby details clear, while distant features fade into gray. Sitka is defined by balance, between open sea and dense forest, between visible and obscured, creating a landscape that constantly shifts between clarity and softness. Situated deep within the interior of Alaska, Fairbanks exists within a landscape shaped by vast open spaces and seasonal extremes. Unlike coastal regions, the terrain here feels broader and more expansive, with fewer natural barriers interrupting the horizon. The land is characterized by rolling plains and stretches of boreal forest. Trees are spaced more widely, allowing greater visibility across the terrain. During warmer months, the ground is covered in low vegetation, creating a softer texture across the landscape. Rivers flow steadily through the region, carving gentle paths across the plains. Their presence adds continuity, connecting different parts of the environment and reflecting the wide sky above. In Alaska, every scene feels distant yet real, vast yet detailed, offering a perspective where nature remains the dominant force, unchanged and enduring. Subscribe for more explorations of remote landscapes and unseen places around the world. Stay connected for journeys that go beyond familiar destinations, where nature defines the story, and every location reveals something rarely seen, rarely heard, and deeply grounded in the raw beauty of the earth.